Char Margolis, Char Communications Incorporated, and CharVision LLC do not endorse or offer for any purpose but entertainment the views of any guest or other expert on CharVision or UBN.
I knew things before they happened from the time I was a child. At the age of 8, I saw a spirit at the foot of my bed and didn't know what it was. And in my 20s, I finally realized I had a special ability that could help others. I have learned that love never dies. There is a spirit world that can communicate with us, and we all have the gift of intuition. Join me, and together we will explore the possibilities of the unknown from beyond and more. This is CharVision. Hi, everybody. It's Sunny and Char, and today we have a very serious subject, but a really happy ending. I think it's 1 out of 8 women are known to get breast cancer, and I'm not quite sure my guest today what kind of cancer she had because I don't remember, but this is all about cancer. And the weirdest thing happened, you guys. My dear friend from high school has cancer. Pancreatic cancer, and there's a thing that you can do. It's called, her name is Hope, and I want to dedicate the show to Hope, and it's posthope.com, and anyway, they're bringing in the nurses now, and anyway, if anybody wants to send out a prayer to Hope, please do, because she's really the funniest person I know besides my friend Stuart. She makes me laugh more than anybody in the world. And also, I need to give a little shout out because there's always a reason why I do shows the way I do them. And my dear manager friend Gina decided to have Angelique on, which I'm very grateful that you found Angelique. But I have good news about somebody with cancer. My dear sister, who I was in Michigan for 3 months, got breast cancer, and she did a 3D mammogram, and they caught it very, very quickly, and it was very tiny, and it wasn't in the lymph nodes, and it wasn't, all she needs is radiation, and she's halfway through it. So God bless you, Lainey, and I'm so glad you're doing well. And so anyway, I'm sure that 6 degrees of separation, somebody out there listening, watching, has had an experience with cancer in some way, shape, or form. And today I have lovely Angelique L'Amour here. Angelique, thank you so much for being here.
I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, you guys, full disclosure, I do not like to read. I have a teaching degree. My minor's in English. I have to really, I have best friends who've written bestsellers I haven't read. Sometimes I get in the mood and I read, and I can focus on it because when I focus on my psychic stuff, it's different. So I picked up her book today. It is called Chemo, Cupcakes and Carpools, and man, I couldn't put it down. I read it this morning, the whole thing. It's like, oh, and now what do you do? Oh, and then what do you do? Oh, and then what do you? It's amazing, and so. Okay, so your genes have gifted writers throughout your life, right?
Yes,
your family.
There's a serious part of
your dad is Louis L'Amour.
Louis L'Amour, yes.
Louis L'Amour. Okay, so tell us some of the things he wrote.
Okay, so he's known primarily for westerns. He's How the West Was Won, Hondo, Last of the Breed, which is not a western per se. It actually takes place in 1984. He's written, there are, I think, 100 and some odd books, but 135 books published maybe now.
That's amazing. And since he's crossed over,
100 million copies sold on top of the 220 million that he had sold before he passed away.
That's unbelievable.
And we have a new book coming out this month, next week, actually.
Wow.
So it's in the genes of his family. He was a writer. Both his brothers were writers, and both his sisters were writers.
So. Oh, wow. And so were you always a writer, or did this kind of move you to write?
No, for me, I don't remember not writing, and I don't remember not telling stories. And actually, one of my childhood friends when we were, I guess, 6 or 7, I convinced her that I was secretly married to a prince, and she believed me for a really, really long time. And I, you know, I feel like, you know, no, I wasn't. But okay, now we all know that because we're now all adults. But so I was always a storyteller. And when I went through high school, I would always have 2 notebooks out on my desk, the one for class and the one that I was writing all my teenage angst into, like stories and songs and poems, and any way to get my emotions sort of through me and out of me was how I wrote. And I went to college and ended up at USC in the print journalism department. And you know, I've just always written, but I had to be an actress for a while,
right?
Because that was the other passion. But I've always written, and along about the age of 30, I was sitting in my acting class thinking I was aging out of Hollywood, which at that time I was, and I thought there are all these books, all these stories I wanted to tell, all these books I wanted to write, and I just, before the next scene started, I just wrote a 1-line sentence of everything and came up with 27 books and thought, okay, maybe you better start. And
how many have you published?
4.
Okay.
I'm not really, I mean, that there was a segue in there. There was marriage and children and
now,
cancer. So.
Okay, cancer. Okay, now, when I read the part about I have to tell my children I have cancer. First of all, what kind of cancer did you have?
I had breast cancer.
Breast cancer. And what stage was it?
It was stage 2. It was enormous, but not in the lymph nodes. It went through the 3 first tests, which is mammogram, ultrasound, and fine needle aspiration, everything coming back that I was perfectly fine, perfectly healthy, and it was not cancer.
No.
But I could feel it, and it was the size of a golf ball in my chest. And
where should people not go to find out what's wrong?
My doctor said 4% don't show on a mammogram.
Oh.
And I was just special.
Oh, gee.
Okay. So I went through a summer, and finally, you know, he said, go have a period, have 2. Let's see if it's just a cyst. Maybe it'll resolve. Maybe it'll not be there. And I came back. I convinced myself not to check my breasts except for every Monday. So for 8 weeks, I checked my breasts on Monday. 3 times I convinced myself it was completely gone.
Oh.
Which I find fascinating.
Wow.
And when I got back to his office, I'm like, it's still there? He's like, yeah, you can do an MRI, but the MRI, your insurance isn't going to pay for it. And I said, I'll pay for it. You know, I've got the best MasterCard ad ever, which is MRI, $1,300 and saving your life, priceless. So, so I saved my life with my good credit, being able to plunk down my MasterCard and say, charge it. And so I went through.
So you instinctively knew you needed to do this. You knew it.
It was just, you know, the instinctive part came as a result of standing in a shower. And instead of putting shower gel on and going like this, I put shower gel on and came up under my breast and put my hand right on the lump. And it was so big, there was no mistaking it for something else.
Right.
It was huge. And so I went through.
How old were you?
45.
You're more than 45?
I'm more than 45.
Oh, she's gorgeous, guys. Even in person, I mean, you're gorgeous.
Thank you. You're very sweet.
Oh,
Thank
my
you.
goodness. Okay.
I have good genes.
Okay, but when I read the part about how do I tell my children, and you had a little one that was 7 and an older one that was 11, and so somebody told you you went around the block for a walk.
Well, first I called a friend of mine who is a psychologist, a child psychologist, and I said, how do I talk to them? How do I tell them? And he said, don't tell them. And I thought, okay, the fastest way for me to find my children is to either get on the phone or go into the bathroom to take a shower. Like a shot, everybody appears.
Right.
So I thought, there's no way I can have 2 daughters and be a mom and have any privacy. So I can't.
You can't hide that.
This.
I think there's more stress in trying to hide things.
Oh, and from a 7-year-old and an 11-year-old, it was not even doable. And to me, the first question that any parent ever asks me is the first thing that comes up is you hear the words, you have cancer, and the next thing you say is, what about my kids? So the 11-year-old heard me on the phone with my mother, and I wasn't going to tell them until I had a pretty good idea of exactly what the next step was going to be. And she heard me on the phone with my mom, and she just point blank said, do you have cancer? Are you going to die? At which point,
Your 11-year-old.
my 11-year-old, and I grabbed her by the hand and I said, "Let's go for a walk," because I didn't want her little sister to hear us.
Right.
Because 4 years between 7 and 11 it's a huge 4 years. So we went for a walk, and she and I power walked our neighborhood up and down hills, and she asked every question she could think of, and we managed to laugh about me having plastic surgery. We managed to laugh about a lot of things because it just seemed like I would never have, breast implants, and so why would I be doing it now? And she asked a lot of questions. The younger one I kept it really simple for her. I just said, Mom has something called cancer. I have to have surgery. And people think cancer is a scary word, but I don't think cancer is a scary word. I never said I'm going to be fine. I always said the plan is I'm going to be fine.
I read that, and I thought, how wise.
I did not want to.
You didn't want to give, because you didn't want to get hopes up and then disappoint them. God forbid. God forbid. I had no idea really what was going to happen. Oh.
But I was also incredibly aware that I had this opportunity to teach my daughters how to handle anything.
Right.
And that my decision was going to be to show them by my word and my deed that you could be positive, you could enjoy life, you could be scared of something and face it anyway, and you could get through it. And I also didn't want their entire lives to be cancer. I didn't want this weight on their childhood.
It fascinates me, though, how you figured out how to live as much a normal life as you could for your family and yourself, and the carpool, and tell them what you did.
So I said, the hardest thing I think for any mom, especially our generation of women who in their 40s, 50s, 60s, we were told we could have all of it.
Right.
And so we're very used to doing everything.
Right.
And to be able to say yes to people who offered was a big challenge for myself, but I also knew I didn't have a choice.
To accept help.
And
that's really hard.
And when somebody would say, "What can I do?" I might say, "I don't know, but I'll let you know." That's the other thing is say, I will need your help. I will let you know what I need when I need it.
Right.
And you can say yes or no, but just, I'm keeping you on the back burner right now.
Right.
We were very blessed. My mother is unbelievable, was with me at every chemo, and we had this whole routine worked out. So I'd go to chemo on Tuesday, and we'd drop the kids at school, and we'd go into chemo, and then Christopher would leave and go home to pick up the girls. My mom would stay with me. I'd spend the night at her house.
I love the part that you wrote about where if you haven't caught up with certain friends, invite them over to keep you company while you're having chemo.
Well, Gina came.
Gina came. Gina's here in the studio. In the house.
She came because you're there it's so boring. We have this image that it's horrifying, that chemo is this scary, we're throwing up in the bucket the whole time, we're passing out, we're getting the vapors, it's really boring. And I had 3 medications that each took 2 hours apiece to go in, so I was there for 6 hours. By the time I got there, and they do blood work, and they weigh you, and they take your vitals, and they get the blood work back, and then they get your meds to you, and they plug you in, and they start dripping you. By the time you're there all day, and it's just a bore. So I did all my Christmas shopping. I created my Christmas card because it was this time. It was November. Mid-November that I started.
Wow.
And I started really writing the blog, and the blog is really what gave birth to the blog.
So that was kind of your therapy, your blog.
For me, it was. People talk about how brave. They're like, "You're so brave. You're so brave," and I was terrified.
Of course.
So the way to be brave sometimes is just to act brave in spite of how you're actually feeling. And there were books that were scary. There were websites that were scary. And I wanted to be able to tell my family and friends how I was doing. And I wanted the blog to have a further reach that allowed people to see that it wasn't. Mm-hmm. And part of that was convincing myself and putting a positive spin on everything that came along, finding the humor in everything that came along, and just being really honest about with no like amping up of the drama. Just this is what the day was like today.
And you told people, or people told you to get your hair cut.
You know, people tell people to get their hair cut. I didn't get my
Why?
hair cut. I
Your
think
hair's
because
so pretty.
Well, I had great hair. My hair was down to the middle of my back, and it's really curly. And
Gee.
my story about losing my hair is kind of funny. People say, "Oh, cut your hair short. You won't mind it as much when baloney. It really doesn't matter. It's going to go." So I have curly hair, and my mom was really gracious, and she said, "Come, let's go to this great wig man in Beverly Hills. He's
Right.
fantastic. Like he is the known wig man, right?" And so I go
Like
into
really
him,
expensive, probably.
really
Like,
expensive,
what-
and she's
how
like, "My
expensive?
treat."
How
I think it was $3,000. My
That's
treat,
expensive.
okay? My treat. I'll buy you the wig. I'm like, "Okay, Mom." So we go and we meet this guy, and he's looking at my hair, and he takes a little piece from underneath so he can match the color and he's like, "Here's the deal. When you put your hand through your hair like this, and you come up with like 10 or 15 hairs, your hair is going to fall out. Come see me. I'll shave your head. We'll put you on, put your wig on you. I'll teach you how to take it on and off and the whole 9 yards, and we'll do that." And he said, "Nobody cries. Nobody cries. Anybody cries, they leave. Nobody cries. This is a happy place." I said, "Okay, this is good. You have a choice. You can be positive or negative."
That's right.
I went towards positive, every option. So I get to day 14 after my first chemo, and they're like, "Your hair should be coming out now." And I'm going like this, and nothing's coming up in my hand. Maybe 2 or 3 hairs, nothing, right? So my daughter is visiting a school that, we're going on an open house day to visit a school, my older daughter. And I jump in the shower, and I get out, and I, squeeze dry my hair so it'll not be sopping down my back. And we go running into the car, and we run off to this school, to this open house, this Catholic school, all-girls school. And I'm walking around there, and I'm feeling something weird. It feels like my hair's braided,
Oh, yeah.
okay? And what it was my hair had dried into 2, like, dreadlocks at the nape of my neck.
Oh.
Just 2, like, thick, wide dreadlocks at the
Wow.
nape of my neck. And I was instantly mortified because here I am walking around this
Right.
school that we might be a part of. And I'm
Right.
like, what am I doing? And so I got home, and it was a Sunday, and I looked at my husband and I said, "Okay, tomorrow I'm going out to lunch for my mother's birthday. And Tuesday we are driving into town, and somebody is shaving my head." Because I didn't want him to.
All right.
Because I was in chemo, and I thought, the last thing I want is to get
Aw.
trimmed or cut or whatever, and then
Right.
it becomes something I need to go to a
Right.
pro. And so then I put my hair up under a hat and went to my mother's lunch, and the next day got in the car and went to town and shaved my head.
You went to your mom's lunch
I did.
because you didn't want to disappoint her.
I wasn't going to disappoint her. I mean, she was my,
Oh my goodness,
she was
you're
my comrade.
so sweet and so loving. I can't believe you did that.
She is, every time I said, "Could you?" she just says yes. And
Ugh.
she's always beside me, always able to be there at the
Did
drop
she
of a
know you were
hat.
going the next day?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And we laughed about it. Like, what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
It was horrific. And the plan had been for this wig guy to make me extensions out of my own hair so that as my
Oh.
hair was coming back in, I could have clip-in extensions
Right.
and I could wear it longer or whatever. Yeah, that went off the table
Yeah.
because there was
Didn't
nothing to do.
happen.
No.
Didn't happen.
So we just shaved my head. And I kind of dug the bald look.
You did.
I did.
Well, yeah, because
What else are you
you're
going to
so,
do?
Yeah, but you're so gorgeous. I can't imagine you not being gorgeous
very
with or
sweet.
without hair.
I don't know. Maybe it was optimism. Maybe it was positive thinking. Maybe it was the fact that I'd been an actress for a long time. So at some point you
Right.
give up control of your hair
Right.
because it's going to be cut and it's going to be colored and it's going to be whatever for whatever. And, I just thought, well, I wonder what my head looks like. Like, what do I look like bald?
Right.
And then I thought maybe I'll dress, like edgier, like sleeker.
Right.
And like really have this whole, I'm 5'10" and I've got bald head thing going on. I went to a birthday party with my bald head, like a birthday party of a friend who's an actress with like all her famous actress friends,
Oh.
rocking the bald look. I
How
had a
did
great time.
they
Well, one of
how
them.
did they react to you? I mean,
Everybody was really positive and really,
That's nice.
kind, and
That's
we talked
really
about
nice.
everything but cancer, which was great. And then 2 years later, I ran into one of them and was like, "Oh my gosh, you cut your hair!" And I was like, No.
No.
No, I was bald when we met.
Oh
She was
my
like,
goodness.
I'm so sorry. I'm like, no, it's good. We're good now.
But see, the one thing that you stress in your book is about being positive.
It just, like, if you're negative, you're miserable to be around.
Well,
and I wasn't.
right.
I had my moments, usually in the middle of the night. I had my moments where I was really scared. And my husband,
I was going to ask about him.
well, okay, so he's amazing. He used to always say to me when I get all flustered or upset about something, he'd say, "Where are your feet? Stomp your feet. Tell me where your feet are." I'm like, "They're right here." And he's like, "That's all that's going on." And so when I got cancer, I thought, if he says to me, "Where are your feet?" I went into his office and I said, okay, I thought, I'm going to tell him exactly how I feel right now. The girls are at school. I'm going to say exactly how I feel. But if he says the words, "Where are your feet?" I'm going to deck him. And so I walked in there and I said, "I am really, really angry." And he said, "You're entitled." And instantly the anger vanished.
Wow.
It was just gone because I was justified.
He gave you permission.
He gave me permission. And he didn't say, "Where are your feet?"
And you gave yourself permission.
And I gave myself permission to feel that. And so I would say, feel those feelings, but just let them go. You don't get to sit. And when you have kids, you can't sit in it because they need you. And they need you up in the morning. And I would get up in the morning, I'd make breakfast and I'd make lunches and I'd see them off to school, the third day after chemo, but then I'd go back to bed.
Right. And
Then-
I also remember reading that, like, by 7 o'clock at night,
I was cooked.
you were exhausted.
Yeah, and that, you get feeling better after that initial week of chemo, that, day one being the day of chemo. You feel better by day 5, 6, 7, but the energy doesn't come back past about 7 o'clock at night for a long time.
Right.
And not when you have kids. I don't know what it's like if you don't have kids,
Right.
but I think my kids also kept me positive because I had to be doing things for other people.
In the work that I do, in the energetic work, because we live in a physical world, we live in an energetic world, and I always say that that positive energy attracts positive energy and manifests positive energy, but negative, it does the same. Negative attracts and manifests negative. So you always want to be positive because I feel that's how the healing happens. And you did some healing. You did some manifestation. You did some visualization.
I did some serious visualization.
Did you? And I want to hear about it, but I just want to tell everybody watching at home. First of all, Carmenos Cancer Institute and any other cancer institute that exists should have this book in their waiting room. They should give it to every patient there is, because this is the easiest how to take care of cancer for dummies, maybe? Not really. It's not for dummies.
I think it's really
it's
kind
called
of the
Chemo,
girlfriend's
Cupcakes,
guide.
and Carpools. It's the girlfriend's guide. Yeah, and it's incredible. I mean, seriously, if somebody gets cancer and they don't know what to do. When my sister just went through it, and she said, I educated myself. She said, I called people, I looked, but she did look online, and she said she talked to people and whatever. So if anybody here is listening that has any connection to Carmenos or any of those cancer places, this is the book. How can people get this book?
It's available on Amazon. It's available on barnesandnoble.com. It's available on multiple independent bookstore websites.
And so if they just go to Chemo, Cupcakes, and Carpools, they can get this book?
Well, if they go to Amazon and they put it in, they can get to it. They can go to angeliquelamour.com and look under books, because there's a link to Amazon through there as well.
Angelique L'Amour. I love that name, L'Amour. That's love. And you're sharing your love with all the people. Okay, so you visualized what?
Okay, so I had to come up, I was raised in religious science. We believe in doctors. We believe in the positive mindset and the power of positive thinking, and that you can create your thoughts, create your reality. And so
I believe that.
I believe that too. And so if I'm sitting here and I've had this double mastectomy, but I'm doing chemo anyway, and I believe that I'm already healed and I have no cancer, it's all gone.
Right.
How do I justify chemo? Okay. So I thought, okay, it's the U.S. Marine Corps.
Okay.
Okay, so I was at an event, and all 4 branches of the armed services came in singing their songs at this event that was in Williamsburg, Virginia, a long time ago, when I was in my late 20s. And they all came in singing, and they were all robust. And then the Marines came in. The Marines came in like they were storming the beaches of Normandy right then. So there was this different energy that came in with the Marines. And I thought,
Right.
okay, my chemo is the Marines.
Is that like from the halls of Montezuma?
Yes. And if
Okay.
you read those lyrics, the last stanza is, if the Army and the Navy ever look on heaven's scenes, they will find the gates are guarded by the United States Marines.
Okay, that gives me goosebumps.
It made me cry when I read it.
That's amazing.
I was like, I can't even,
Right.
So I would get into the chemo chair, and I would visualize a group of Marines, my group of Marines,
Right.
male and female. They had their gear on, and they had their helmets on, and they had their guns, and they were rounding up and sending out of my body any stray cell. So my friends were friends with Charles Krulak, who was a commandant of the Marine Corps.
Oh.
His father had been the commandant of the Marine Corps before him.
oh, wow.
So he started sending me these emails. We're like, you know what the Marines do? They lie in wait. They don't leave anyone behind. They keep going till the job is done. They
Right.
find everything and they take care of it. And I thought, this is such an incredible visual. It's getting even better because I am seeing this action go on where they are rounding up and they are destroying any stray cancer cell that is in my body, because that's why I was doing chemo, for the one cell that was going to decide to have a party.
Whoa.
And I didn't want it to have a party.
No.
I wanted it gone.
Right.
So I had read books that talked about the change in people who were stage 4, people who were on their last hopes, coming to work with these different doctors, and how when they came to these groups, they would visualize their cancer as a shark, or their cancer as a big spider, or their cancer as something powerful. And when they changed their perception and made their chemo, their medication, the powerful, strong, dynamic entity, they lived.
Wow.
They healed.
So
They
attitude
cured.
means attitude.
So I would visualize these, and I had a girlfriend, right? I was like, what are their names? I'm like, okay. What do they look like? I'm like, okay. I'm working on that. And I just kept developing them. I mean, I can close my eyes right now, and I can see 3 of them that I had developed
Wow.
really strongly, and I needed something to hang my hat on. That meant I felt protected. I felt rescued. I felt like they were there doing
Did you
what they
ever
needed to
think
do.
there could be more to it? Like they could be marine angels watching over you, guiding you, guarding you. Your angels put on marine clothes to
take care of
keep you well.
I accept I had so many different congregations praying for me, because I had friends who were Buddhists, and friends who were Jews, and friends who were Catholic, and friends who were Lutherans, and they all got their churches praying.
that. There's nothing more important
And
than
I felt
prayer.
I
and
felt
love.
that,
Yeah.
I mean, you never completely get rid of the fear.
No.
You never completely get rid of the fear. There's always something
You
that
mean
will come
even
up.
now?
Yeah. I'll hear about somebody who is
And you
just
go- and
diagnosed.
so you wonder, because it's a shock when you know there's cancer. It wasn't supposed to be me.
Well, it wasn't supposed to be me. That's why my blog started as my story right now.
Well, Julia Louise Dreyfus just wrote that, and that she's one in 8 people get
Yeah.
cancer, and she's the one,
Yeah.
because nobody ever thinks it's going to be them ever.
Oh, well, I've been eating organic since 1986.
You have?
Yeah.
okay.
I don't drink.
Okay.
I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I cuss. And I
Okay, so I know one thing that I mean, I've read about it, and I really am strong about it because I have holistic doctors as well.
yeah.
Sugar is terrible.
Sugar's terrible.
The worst thing is sugar.
Sugar is the constant battle for me. Even
It's
though right now
so
I'm-
bad.
Right now I'm on day 10 of absolutely none, and I had done it before, but I'd kind of fallen off the wagon.
Can I show off for a second? I think I'm on day like 40 or something, or 30 something.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
But I went on a diet, so that's part of it. No sugar, no carbs, no.
Yeah, no sugar, no
But,
gluten, no dairy.
but
That's
I just
me.
got an email saying how bad. Oh no, I think it was in USA Today. There was a whole article about how
Sugar's a
bad
drug.
sugar is.
Sugar makes you want sugar, which is the definition of any addictive substance.
Right, right.
It makes you want more.
It's true.
And I, as I came through chemo and done with chemo and done with surgeries, and I had all sorts of complications that is a story for another book that I'm also working on. But I finally went to an alternative medicine doctor. I kept trying to find
That's so great.
a doctor that could actually look at me and go, oh, well, you did these 3 chemo drugs, and that means we need to pay attention to this, this, and
Right.
this. And so I found this amazing woman, Nalini Chilkov, and
Wait, what's her name?
Nalini Chilkov.
Is she here?
She's here.
In
She's
California
in Santa
because
Monica.
I need somebody in California to refer people to. So
Oh, yeah, she's
will you
phenomenal.
leave it for us before
Yeah,
you leave?
absolutely.
Okay.
And she's written a book called How to I think it's How to Create a Body Where Cancer Cannot Thrive, and
Wow.
she's really, really learned. And I went to her because I was still having such trouble with my gastrointestinal system as a result of chemo. And we were planning this trip to Ireland, and I was like, I don't even know if I can go on this trip, and I've planned this
no.
trip because of the way I feel. And she had me do X, Y, and Z, and I went on the trip and had no trouble. But
Wow.
I mean, she healed that part of me. I am healthier than I've ever been as a result of her.
Wow.
Quite honestly, getting off of sugar, getting off of dairy, getting off of gluten, getting off of things that are not good for my personal system.
Right.
Everybody has to go with their own personal thing.
Right.
But my sugar reads keep creeping upward.
Oh.
And so I've fought with the sugar and I really don't have it the way I used to.
Are you eating carbs?
No. Like, really no. But my weight hasn't gone down much, and my sugar, I don't know. I'm going in November and having blood work done. We'll see.
Okay.
But I had a friend of mine who owns a beautiful gift store in Woodland Hills, and she looked at me and she just said, "You're where I was, and I'm now diabetic."
I was
it.
just gonna say,
And I was like, it just blew me away, and that was it. That day, I was like, I'm done. She's like, I want to be here for my kids and my
I
grandkids.
just
I'm
had
like,
this
"I'm done."
conversation with my assistant. I said, diabetes and is a forerunner to cancer and hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia and diabetes are forerunner to cancer. I was told that many years ago.
I had no issue with it prior to cancer. So for me, I was always skinny. I was always tall and skinny. I always weighed less than all my friends who were shorter than me. I never worried about my weight. I never battled it in any way. I gained a lot with my kids, but I did not have gestational diabetes. I had
Right.
perfectly healthy pregnancies. The weight came off. But I don't know. I feel like cancer and perhaps the medications and going into menopause automatically with the first chemo, I think a lot of things switched me and my chemical makeup because I'd never had this issue before. And we used to test me because I always looked anemic and I was, and so it was, but I never had this issue.
My
so
friend
I'm
is
kind of-
taking the she does have diabetes and she is taking, doctor medicine, but also alternative, holistic.
Yeah.
It's called glue something. I forgot. Nikki, would you put it on the Facebook what the name of that glue something is so people out here can find it for themselves? Wow. So that's fascinating and interesting, but it's always a journey, and what we are, what we eat. I don't know.
It's an interesting. I had people tried. I had a friend who was diagnosed the same day as me,
Oh,
and with a completely different makeup, a completely different plan, completely different
Right.
everything. But she became like the Energizer Bunny, and she was like, "You have to get off sugar. You have to get off sugar. You have to get off sugar." And I looked at her and I said, "Are you doing chemo?" And she said, "No." I said, "Okay, when I'm done with chemo,
I'll get off sugar.
I'll get off sugar.
But I need some comfort food.
I don't drink alcohol.
Right.
I don't smoke dope.
Right.
I don't
right,
take
right,
drugs.
Right.
I
You needed some kind of comfort food.
I don't drink coffee. Like I needed chocolate at 4:00 in the afternoon to get to 7.
Right.
It was
well,
a need.
you also needed the caffeine, probably. I'm so fascinated with you. I respect you so much. I'm so grateful that you're here. And do you have a website that people can get to?
I have a website.
What
It's
is it?
AngeliqueL'Amour.com.
Angelique,
lowercase,
is
no-
it on? Is it up there? Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Tony. Yeah, and you guys, Chemo, Cupcakes, and Carpools by Angelique L'Amour. Seriously, God forbid you have cancer or you know somebody. This kind of makes it, oh, now this is what I do. Now this is what I do. Okay, now this is what I do, and this is how I handle things with my children and my family and myself. Well, I wish you so well, and will you come back? Because I know I would love to read for you if you want a reading and come back as one of my people.
I think it would be a blast.
Okay, let's
Quite
do
honestly.
it. Let's do it. We'll figure out a date and a time.
Okay.
So, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate all that you're doing to help other people handle their own problems, because you didn't have to write that,
I think it kind of wrote itself.
Yeah.
Because it was always just the answers
I feel
to
like
questions.
you're very guided. I feel like you're very
Oh, I like
special.
that.
I feel like you're like an angel on earth, helping others.
Thank you.
It's really special. Okay, everybody, don't go away, because I'm going to be reading for somebody, and I don't know anything about them, except they're friends with Gina. If you like what you've seen on CharVision, then go to char.net and book a personal reading with me, or join a group reading, or join one of my workshops where I teach you to be psychic and intuitive. Hey everybody, you probably think I only do individual readings, but sometimes I get a message for everybody. And I wrote a poem that was channeled through me, and I'd like to read it to you. It's called Until We Meet Again by Char Margolis, a message from heaven. My work is done, it's time to leave. Know that I am also missing you as you grieve. I completed my karma on the earth, and now it is time for my rebirth. I'm flying with eagles and dancing on stars. Please know that I haven't gone far. The love we have will carry us through until the day I am again with you. What an amazing journey this passing over can be. I am in good company. I know you hurt, but please trust me. Our journey together is for eternity. So until the day our souls reunite, stay peaceful and well, and use your spirit sight. I will bring you signs from up above, a butterfly, a bird, my sign of love. Don't worry about me. I'm in good hands. Stay strong, stay positive, and continue to pray. When it is your natural day to graduate from the earth, look for me in the bright white light. We have completed our purpose, and all will be right. This is handmade. It's signed by me. It's an affordable gift for any occasion. Just go to char.net and click on store. Thank you. Okay, we're back with all our dead relatives, and I'm going to read for this nice lady, Leslie. Now, I don't, full disclosure, I met you like a few months ago with Gina, but I don't really know you, and I don't know who you are or what you do, but I know you were with Gina, so
Correct.
you got to be okay if you were with Gina. So just please be open-minded about everybody, living and deceased. Don't say any names unless I say it first. If I, then you can repeat it, but if more than one person share the same name or initial, try to let me know, because it's not logical. Somebody living could have the same name or initial as someone deceased, because when I get these images and feelings, I have to put them together, and sometimes spirits are louder than somebody living, so I never know. I'm going to say my prayer of protection, because we only want positive energy around us, and then we'll start. We ask the universal consciousness and God that holds the highest spiritual power of knowledge, wisdom, and truth to guide and protect us as we communicate with our guides and angels in the spirit world and tap into the wisdom of the universe. We respect this opportunity and take full responsibility to use this not for ego or controlling others, but with the pure intention of spreading love and healing life on this earth and beyond. Is there a J or L person connected with you?
Yes.
Is it a J or
Yes.
a male or
Yes.
female? A male? A male J?
Yes.
Is he spelled J-E or J-O? or just starts with J?
Just starts with.
Is there an A in that name?
Yes.
Is it James or Jack?
Close.
Jacob?
Jake.
Jake. Is he living?
Yes.
Is this your child, your
Son.
Your child, your son. Okay. And is he in a school?
Yes.
Did he change something about his school?
Not,
Or is there a change coming around his school?
not that I know.
Okay, all I know is I'm seeing positive things around his school. Did he start an extracurricular thing
Oh
or
no,
something?
he did. Yes, he did. He started working in a engineering
Yeah,
lab.
I see something extracurricular, and I think he's going to do really, really well. I'm also seeing an M.
Yes.
Is that a female? No, a male. Is he spelled M-I or M-A?
M.A.
Is that a male M-A?
Well, it could
Or
be.
are there two? There's a
it's-
male and a female?
No, it could be the last name.
Oh, that's your last name?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a last name, not a first name.
Mhm.
Okay. Why am I seeing
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I take that back. I do have another M.A.
deceased?
No.
Okay, but family?
Yes.
Is that a female?
No.
Oh, that's a male. Okay, is it M-A-R? Or
Uh-huh.
M,
Yes.
like
M.A.R..
Mark or
Marty,
Marty? Is that your dad?
my
or
brother.
your brother? Okay. Do you have a deceased M, like a grandfather or great grandfather? Did you know their names? Did you know if there was a Max
No.
or a M? I think there is. I feel like there's somebody deceased that's
I
an
have a
M.
grandmother that's
It-
deceased that starts with an M.
Is she spelled M-I or M-A or just starts with M?
It just starts with
Is there an L in her name?
Mm-hmm.
Like Molly
No, it's.
or Millie?
No.
But it's M with an L in it.
Uh-huh.
I don't know her name, but I feel like your grandma's here.
Hmm.
There's not an R in her name, is there?
Yes.
Is it Meryl or
Myrtle.
Myrtle? Close enough. Myrtle. Okay. Yeah, your grandma's here. And also, is there an S or H person? Did you know your other grandparents, S or H?
No.
Do you know? Yeah, I think she's with an S. Like, is there a Sam or a Sarah, or did she have a sister or brother? Or an H, like a Harry or
No, that's
eight. Oh, I think there is. Or Helen. Okay, I'm gonna move on because
Okay.
I may be getting people that you don't even know that she was connected to. Myrtle.
Yeah, well, she was connected to everybody. So.
And there's also an R. There's also an R. Do you know that person?
I know an R
A
person.
female?
Yes.
A Rose or Ruth or
Ruth.
is that your mom? Who's
Yes,
that?
it's my mother.
And she's living?
Yes.
Ruth? Was there a health issue around Ruth?
Yes.
Okay, and is Myrtle her mom?
No.
That's her mother-in-law.
Correct.
Okay, and is there an A with her mom? An A? Who's Ann?
My mom is Ruth Ann.
Ruth Ann. Oh, okay. Somebody's talking to me about Ruth Ann, and they're saying that she needs to watch her health. Is she on medicine?
Yes.
And was she in hospital?
Yes.
And did she come out and in and out?
Yes.
And now, are you still worried though?
Yes.
Concerned about her? Because I feel like it's important to stay on top of her health.
Okay.
And there might be other things that can be done to help her. Are you getting other opinions, other
Well, she.
alternative things, or
Yeah, she's been on constant
constant help?
help. Yes.
Yeah, and so people are there all the time?
No, but she goes to the hospital a lot and
Okay.
gets checked out.
Yeah, I just feel like as long as she's communicating, you can nip things in the bud, but she needs to communicate how she's feeling.
Okay.
Now, someone's putting a bunch of legal papers in front of you. So I don't know what that means. Do you work with law,
Yes.
or are you a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay. So do you have are you working on a project now, like a new project? Are
Yes.
you in entertainment law?
Yes.
I feel like you're going to be working on a project that's going to bring you something good. Who's Louis or Lillian? Was that your grandfather?
No.
Or Louis? You don't know Louis? Oh wait, but the girl that was just in her name was her dad was Louis, and it could be him. I don't know. I can sometimes mix things up. Okay, I'm a little mixed up with this one. I think I'm getting it from before, but I'm seeing. Are you working on a new project?
Yes.
Do you ever do not just legal stuff, but do you ever do creative stuff?
Yes.
I feel like there's something really good coming for you.
Thank you.
Is it already in the works?
It's already in the works.
Is this exciting?
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Is it a movie?
It's
or a TV thing?
TV show that it all happened today.
I feel so happy for you.
Yeah.
I feel like this is going to be really good.
Good.
Yeah. Is
I
it
hope
like
so.
a scripted thing, or
No,
or
it's,
just
it's a non-scripted.
not scripted?
Mhm.
I just feel like this is going to be good for you.
Oh, good. I'm happy about that.
So you're creative and you do the legal part of it.
Yes.
That's very cool. Where? Oh, I don't know what this is. Who has a problem with an eye? One eye. Did you have a grandparent who had a problem with their eyes, or is your mom having an issue with her eye?
No,
Who's having a problem with their eye?
I don't know.
Does someone have a cataract? I kind of feel.
Yeah, I did. Well, but it's not. It's not a family member.
Who is this?
It's a friend of my daughter's.
You mean a young person has a cataract?
Mm-hmm.
Are you helping her, or you're just friends? Your daughter's
He's
just
going to get help. I
or
guess.
him? Are they worried about his eye, that it's an issue?
Yes.
I feel like they need to get more than one opinion. Something's not right with someone's eye. So this is your daughter's friend.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the S or C? Wait a minute. Did I say your daughter's name? No.
Mm-mm.
Who's an S or C or K or C?
K.
Is that your daughter?
No, it's my sister.
Your sister. Is she K-A or K-E or Kim? Or
I have
But-
a sister-in-law, Kim.
you have a sister-in-law, Kim. And then you have another sister, K.
Mm-hmm.
Is there an L in her name or an R in her name?
Yes.
Like Karen or
Kristen.
Kristen? Okay. Did one of them have issues in their marriage?
My sister, no, she wasn't married.
Your sister wasn't married. Did she have a romantic issue?
No, she passed away.
Oh,
when she
she's
was young.
deceased. Okay, so I'm mixing these two people up. So Kristen is deceased, so
Yes.
her spirit must be around you. But was there an issue with your sister-in-law
Not that I'm aware
that
of.
you know of? Okay, I don't think I'm going to touch that one. I feel like it can be smoothed out, whatever it is. If there's an issue, it might not even be with the marriage. It could be like problems, maybe something stirring up in their family.
Oh.
Some issues. I don't know. I don't want to embarrass anybody. But Kristen's your sister, so she died young.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still have something of hers?
Yes.
She's telling me that you still have something of hers.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know if is it a bracelet? Is it
It's a ring.
a ring? Are you wearing it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, she's showing that to me, and she knows you pray for her. She knows you think of her, and she's actually a happy spirit. She's actually in a good place. Did she make herself known to you? Did you have any lights go on and off after she crossed, or TVs go on and off?
No.
The light went. Okay, I swear to God, you guys, that went off by itself. Oh, now I have bad lighting though. Just joking. Not really.
Yeah, that was creepy.
Okay, Kristen, goosebumps. Thank you for doing that. That's creepy. I swear to you. But you know what? When I had shows in the Netherlands, and things like this happened all the time. There was one time where they turned off my microphone, and it still wouldn't go off. Like it was like it had a life of its own, and it was because of the spirits and the energy. So obviously she's there watching over you, and she seems to be happy. She's gonna try to help watch over your mom.
Good.
Where's your dad?
my dad.
Or her dad? Do you have the same dad?
We have the same dad.
Is he living, your
Yes,
dad?
Yes.
Was there an issue with your dad?
No.
Is he close with your mom? Or
No.
are they divorced?
They're divorced.
So that was the issue. They're the ones that got divorced.
Mm-hmm.
They had the marriage problem. Is there another woman with him?
Yes.
He I think is going to have to watch something with his health as well.
Yes.
Do you know about that?
I mean, he has some health issues. Yes.
Yeah. Is it heart or blood or diabetes? He's not
no,
diabetic.
He's not diabetic.
Okay, I don't know what it
He
is,
has
but
some
I just
he's
feel
had a few
it's heart.
minor heart issues. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they have to watch that even more. So today, you got the green light to do your TV project.
Yes.
Well, you can't talk about it yet.
No.
Well, you can come back if you want and talk about it and promote it if you want. Thank you so much. Do you have a question before I move on?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I just want to have a little talk with Kristen. I love you. Thank you for making the light go out. It freaked everybody out. Thank you. Thank you. She's great. All right, everybody. That's it for now. Put a white light around yourselves and remember, intuition will take you places logic never could. My love to my friend Hope. Be well. Bye-bye.